And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition here of the OSC Elite Rising Star number 17, day number 4, part 2 of our broadcast. We were, of course, live earlier today with part 1 with our first 5 best of 3s. Now we have another 5 best of 3s ready for you. I'm, of course, your side VIP with him, joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all. We are jumping right back into our OSC Rising Star tournament. For those who are curious, what is this event? This is a multi-month long event. It takes a long time to get through the overall bracket and through all these matches, of course. A lot of players are stepping up and looking to rise up to be our champion. This event is locked. It is locked away from players that have achieved too many accolades in their career. Basically, the top players in the world, players like Clem, players like MaxPax, players like Bjorn, players like Hero, for example, are ineligible for this tournament. This is for, as the name kind of alludes to, it is all about the rising talent in StarCraft. It is all about the more mid-tier players, and the up-and-comers instead. Players like Nicoract, like FoxeR, like Mixu, like Shameless, Percival, Young Yakov, the players that are just below. And I say just below, I mean, these are still players that do take it to the best players in the world. They still take maps and still take series, but on a more irregular basis, I should say. But again, this is this event, I believe, runs a couple of times a year and does last quite a number of weeks, if not like 2-3-ish months. And we're here day 4, week 4, essentially week 4 here of the event. We have 5 best of 3s ready for you here tonight, and we will begin with FoxeR versus Nicoract. Now, this event is a double elimination bracket, and we are in the lower bracket of the event. We're here in the lower bracket, so this is elimination match. This is where players are going to be starting to be eliminated from the tournaments, and we'll be saying adieu. We'll say goodbye here to one of these 2 players. Very quickly, when it comes to the rest of the bracket, let's quickly head on over here and catch up on the bracket so we can get a bit of idea of where things are and where we have been. Here we go. Okay, so from the top here, bam. Beautiful. We do have our brackets. This morning we were live with the upper bracket. We covered Jumi versus Hydra. You can see here, led into Shameless versus Jumi. Shameless to take down Jumi 2-0, and Shameless is going to be playing against Percival in the next round. We also casted Baby Marine versus Young Yakov. Yakov barely took down Baby Marine, but then did fall to Percival. So we have Shameless and Percival. In my mind, the top 3 players of this tournament are Shameless, Percival, and Young Yakov, one of each race. Like, those are the 3 players that I have my eyes on. Young Yakov is actually the reigning champion. He did defeat Percival in the finals of the last tournament of the previous OSC Rising Star event, so he's the reigning champion, but he's knocked down to the lower brackets. And we have Shameless and Percival facing off in the upper brackets. That'll be next week, I believe that should be next week, just as a heads up. Meanwhile, we still have all these lower bracket matches. There are all these matches down here in the lower brackets, with all these players. Again, we haven't actually had too many elimination matches yet, but we saw FoxeR, Nicoract, Sebestes, Middle VK, Brome, Ledlix, Baby Marine, Demi, Hydra, Young Yakov, Jumi, and many others further on the left hand side. Again, plenty of players are still available, still duking it out, and our next series is here. FoxeR versus Nicoract. That's our next match. That is our next series. Oh boy. Here we go. So we're going to be jumping to game 1. Game 1 is going to be on Pylon, as this still does incorporate an older map pool. It still does incorporate maps from the previous ladder, I should say, just because the event did begin in the previous season. Just as a heads up. And here we go, spawning in the top left hand corner of Pylon, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the yellow Terran player, the yellow Terran, the American Terran himself. It is FoxeR. And if you're in the chats, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats as we get into our TvT. Best of luck, baby. Best of luck. So it is Gamba time. When it comes to the TvT, I do lean towards Nicoract. Nicoract has been excelling quite a bit here in recent weeks, in recent months. Over the past year of play, has been improving a lot. I would say that Nicoract's best matchup is TvP. We've seen him take down the top Protoss players in the world, like Hero, like MaxPax. So give him a Protoss opponent, he has a good chance to bring them down. When it comes to the other matchups, though, that is a little bit more hit and miss. I still do favor him in the TvT, but TvTs can be very chaotic. Mirror matchups in general can be very chaotic here, so we can see FoxeR pop off. And if you remember, he had a very exciting and a very close series against Bunny not too long ago. Not too long ago, we had the qualifiers for, I believe it was for the Stellarfest tournament, and FoxeR, he did quite well for himself there. Almost did not bring a bunny down. Went all the way to the ace match and almost 2-0, to be honest. He almost 2-0'd bunny. FoxeR was playing like a beast. We'll see if he can replicate that success. So far, double gas. Double gas open out of Nicoract, double gas open out of FoxeR. Both players are going for faster factories, and they're both going for delayed CCs. So faster factories out of both players into faster Hellion production, into a later expansion. It's a bit of a safer way to play a TvT. So save openers out of our players. Meanwhile, welcome to Pylon. Pylon is a very small map. Short rush distance by ground. Aggression is heavily favored here on Pylon, so all-ins are likewise favored as well. So we'll see if either player does commit into something more aggressive. We're expecting aggression once we do look to take our third bases, but we could try to go for something more sinister earlier on as well. We'll see. For now, Reapers are on the way, factories are finishing up, and we're getting to our initial openers. So far, mirrored builds. Builds a mirror. Oh, shame, Pappy, shame. Pappy, when do you sleep? I was here at 1:30 a.m. and now it's 10. We don't sleep, Pappy, we don't sleep. I was able to nap. Basically, whenever we're on this, as FoxeR comes out on top, nice pickup here. He takes down the Reaper, so Nicoract does have a bit of miscontrol, and FoxeR comes out on top. Big win here early on. But when it comes to our schedule, especially when it comes to our current schedule, when we're casting twice a day, I usually sleep in like 4-hour intervals. Like I sleep 4 hours, then we cast, then we work, then we sleep another 4 hours, then we cast, and we keep working. Then we oh no. It's fine, Bappy, it's fine. We make do. I think, for example, here, I think I slept 3 hours before the cast. So 3 hours. Yeah, we're fine, Bappy, we're fine. As now the Reaper Hellion does poke in, and again, because of the earlier win, because FoxeR took down the Reaper earlier, he does have the stronger force. He delays the CC, kills another Reaper, and for now he's going to be zoned away. He almost gets another Hellion, kills a second SCV, and FoxeR, GG. GG gets called. Critical damage early on, and FoxeR takes game number 1. GG. FoxeR, GG, well played. It all came down to the first Reaper going down. Because the first Reaper died, that meant that the Reaper Hellion, a follow-up, was even stronger there. So we saw FoxeR dominate the low ground, killed 2 SCVs, delayed the CC heavily, and even killed another Reaper and zoned away the Hellion. Nicoract could not maintain his low ground, and this is also why, winding it back, something that we should talk about. In TvT, it is typically ill-advised to move out with your first Reaper. If you lose your first Reaper, this can happen. So that was Nicoract being a little bit too greedy, being punished for that greed, and with that, getting into game 2. GG, well played. FoxeR taking a lead in the series very fast, game 1, and now we're loading into game number 2. And I would imagine that Nicoract is going to be a little bit more conservative with his Reaper. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultralove, we have the red Terran player. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. For the Platinum Heroes, it is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the yellow Terran player. We have the yellow Terran player himself leading the series 1-0. It is FoxeR. Here we go. And welcome to Ultralove. Ultralove is, I would say, another relatively aggressive map. It has an accessible third base, has an accessible fourth base, has this area in between the bases as well that can be abused. So we typically have the extremes on this map. Either the game ends early or it ends very late. The reasoning for this is if you can secure yourself on 4 bases, then you can gain map control. These choke points come into play. The choke points in the center of the map as well. You can see these very narrow bridges. It can be very difficult to actually traverse past these bridges and past these choke points, and as a result the game can slow down quite heavily. So a map of extremes. Once again, Nicoract double gas opener out of our red Terran, once again going for the faster factory, but we do expect to see Nicoract just be a little bit safer with his first Reaper and not lose it across the map. Meanwhile, FoxeR, he does mix things up. Single gas guys are out of FoxeR, going for a Rax expand, a more of an economic start out of our yellow Terran this time. But this is a little bit risky in general. Like, it is standard to go for a delayed CC and go for a faster factory, so we do see some risks being taken here by FoxeR, but because he's up in the series, he feels like he can get away with cutting corners and taking that risk. Now here comes the SCV scouts, and Nicoract, he will confirm the CC timing, so he's aware of how greedy his opponent's being. Now, a couple of things here. Nicoract, because of this scout, he also knows that the factory is delayed and there's going to be a big power spike early on with the faster factory of Nicoract. So he knows he can be more aggressive. He also scouts the Marine, no Reapers. That also means that this time, Nicoract can actually move out with the Reaper without any care in the world, without being concerned about being hunted down, as there are no opposing Reapers to stop him this time. So I mentioned earlier that I expected Nicoract to be a little bit more conservative with his units early on, but because of the scouting, he knows he can be more aggressive. So the Reaper does move out, poking up the ramp, gets into the main base, delays the factory. Nice pickup here. So yes, he's forced off the factory. With that, Nicoract does pull away. Factory will continue, but again, it was delayed. And now we have more Reapers, more Hellions rallying. And again, as I mentioned before, this time this Reaper is under no real threat. Nicoract does reinforce, moving over 2 Reapers. Gets a Marine, no bunker. Ooh, no bunker on the low ground. That is greedy. So if our FoxeR does hold the line, we'll lose 1 Marine. Behind this, getting a starport, going for a 1-1-1. A Hellion is on the way. With the help of the Hellion, Nicoract, he will take over control of the natural. And he knows it. And we can see the FoxeR, he is not saturating the low ground. He knows that he has no control of that natural base. Hellion tries to bust in. Oh, we'll lose a Reaper, but the Marines are getting picked up. So a bit of a back and forth. Nicoract loses a Reaper. At the same time, FoxeR loses 1 Marine. We have more Hellions, more Reapers rallying. Nicoract, he wants to break into the main. Oof. His army does line up. Nice splash damage there from FoxeR with those Hellions. Now we're expanding. And even though Nicoract had a delayed CC, because he's been buying all this mining time, it means that Nicoract, he catches up. He's catching up in workers, getting his own base. At this point, he has to get the hell out of here. He wants that Hellion. Jesus. That's baited. He's baited. He has to pull away. And FoxeR holds. It was a greedy defense here, defending without a bunker, but alas, he does hold on. He does defend. Eventually resaturates the low ground. And behind this, building up into Cyclones. Cyclones, Ravens. FoxeR playing safe. Nicoract instead going for the earlier tank production. Oh, do you see what I see? A little bit old school. Second starport, 2-port, 2-base all in here out of FoxeR. Now I say 2-port, 2-base all in. This is the more modern variation. This is not an all in. It is hyper aggressive, but this will hit with 2 Ravens. In the past, this kind of build would hit with a mass amount of Vikings into a Liberator, and you just send everything across the map. But here, as we're investing into these Ravens, there's going to be a little bit more finesse with the army. It does hit later, and I believe it does allow you to get a 3rd command center. But regardless, it's still very aggressive. So the goal here is that once you get your Ravens up, you're going mass Viking. You're making nothing but Vikings. You'll take over the skies, and then you take over the ground with your Ravens and with your Liberator support as well. How do you deal with this? I mean, one, it has to be scouted. If Nicoract is able to scout this, he can react and respond with his own 2nd starport and try to fight for air control. So Nicoract does catch one of the Hellions behind this, going for a 3rd TC. Very greedy here from Nicoract. Going for the 3rd base. And you can see here come the reacted Vikings. As we mentioned before, the goal here is for mass Viking to take over the skies and to eventually take over the ground. How do you take over the ground? Once you make, like, I want to say maybe 6 Vikings, you go for Liberators. And Liberators, they can just siege up and just bully the ground army. Nicoract, he himself is being somewhat active. Building up his bio. Has units here to spot the move out. Seeing the amount of Vikings is going to be a tell, as there shouldn't be this many this early on, but he hasn't seen the army yet. Nicoract does spot the move out, and now he knows. Yeah, he sees the Vikings. We'll bleed out a Hellion. Nicoract is going to try to engage ahead of time. Try to slow this down. Does have the higher tank count. Ooh, brutal lock-ons. One of the Ravens falls. And you can see that Nicoract is holding the line. He's delaying the push. And how do you move through this without disables? You don't. So he has to break out. There's the scan. Nicoract, does he on siege? Oh, he does not. Yeah, lands one, lands two disables. Tanks are moving in. But there are so many Marines behind this. Nicoract, can he hold on? Oh my god, just barely. He holds on, the tank survives. He's rushing in, and Nicoract, he breaks the main army. He takes care of all the tanks. He breaks on through, and this was meant to deal critical damage. Remember, Nicoract, he's got a third TC. He's already got a third base. FoxeR's zone is still in production. He just lost his entire army. Again, Nicoract, he barely had nothing. Again, so crucial as well that he was able to hold the line at that ramp, at that bridge. And Nicoract now he can counterattack, lands the Vikings, getting within range of the mineral line. And FoxeR has nothing. There's no defensive tanks. Yeah, not yet. There's no tanks, only Vikings. So losing workers, losing control of his natural, barely any mining going on. And Nicoract, he lands his third. The third base is up and running. Ay, ay, ay. And Nicoract can just keep going in. Doesn't land the disable. But nice target firing. Brings down the tank. Boys are being pulled into Vikings. And again, this is critical damage. 20 SCV kills. Oh, I guess the Raven as well. Takes down the Raven. Not FoxeR, he barely holds on, but it costs him everything. It costs him 20 workers. His economy is crippled. He does not have his own third TC, but he is behind. And his advantage was meant to be the Ravens. Was meant to be the Ravens, the Vikings, but not anymore. He lost that lead. Now, Nicoract does not have to push in. He is rallying, true, he's rallying across, but he does not have to push into the bases. He can just chill, get up to 3 base saturation, throw down his production, throw down his upgrades, and just build up and look to max out. And just contain FoxeR on 2 bases. That's all he's got to do. Just contain. Keep him pinned back. Keep him pinned. Nicoract, he pulls away. Yeah, he pulls away. You can see he's just backing up back at home. Sensor tower, full 3 base saturation. Now getting a 4th on location. Ay, ay, ay. Again, just getting further ahead. And he just has to make FoxeR fight for his 3rd. Speaking of, Star steps in. Shouldn't kill the CC. But gets 2 SCVs. We have a second army coming in from the left-hand side. You can see FoxeR is being spread thin. There's a disable, and he will lose another tank. And FoxeR is just being pulled apart. Viking goes down. Marines, they stim into the mineral line. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, pulls the boys into the Marines, and you can see Nicoract trades so well here. Gets another 11 SCVs. Dropping into the main base. And FoxeR, he can barely clean this up, but again, at what cost, back? Oh god. Because of 17 SCVs, there's still Marines in the main. They just now pick up. Jesus, the 1 HP medevac. Let's go. Barely gets out. And yeah, he's all in. Yeah, it's all or nothing here for FoxeR. The boys are being pulled. Either he ends the game or he dies trying, or either he kills Nicoract or he dies trying. Marines, they hit the 3rd. And what do we have? We have half the Marine counts. Oh god. GG. GG gets called. Nicoract, he will tie things up. And we are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We tie things up here again. Just a really rough stuff from FoxeR. He was so committed to his 2-port build, to his 2-port timing, and we saw that he was unable to get past the halfway mark. And with that, GG. With that, he lost everything. He fell so far behind. He was getting a 3rd CC, true, but it was so much more delayed compared to Nicoract, and he just couldn't land his 3rd. When he tried, he was punished. He just could not land his 3rd base. Could not expand. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're now getting into the ace match, and we'll see how this story ends as we load into Tokamak. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the red Terran player for the Platinum Heroes, tying up the series 1-1. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the yellow Terran player. The yellow Terran, the American Terran, it is FoxeR. We go. So we are going to be setting up. And FoxeR, he moves out across the map early. You have my attention. And he moves out. He's rallied here towards a proxy location. But what I find interesting here is that he's got 1 Rax at home. So very uncommitted here. It's going to be a proxy 2 Rax, 1 proxied, 1 at home, Master Reaper. And this can find some damage here. But again, it's not really the most committed build. It's designed to punish the Terran player being greedy. Remember last game we did see FoxeR going for a Rax expand, and he's hoping that Nicoract is doing the same, but as we can see, Nicoract is going double gas opener, so he's going to have the factory, he's going to have the Hellion, he'll be okay. So again, a cheeky build here by FoxeR, but it doesn't quite pay off. There's still potential, for sure, but FoxeR, he shouldn't find damage. Nicoract, he dips in with the SCV scouts. He confirms that the Rax is back at home. He gets eyes on the gases. So his own factory on the way. And he is checking for a proxy. Does check the 4th location. He goes further out and he confirms. Yeah, he sees everything. It's a proxy factory? Jesus. FoxeR was committing to a 1 base all in, forced to cancel. Not like this, Pappy. Not like this. Very delayed factory. Rebuilds it back at home. I didn't realize just how committed FoxeR was going here with his build. And he gets shut down. He gets shut down in the end. FoxeR, he's denied. He's looking for a way in. Nicoract, he does shoot first. Yeah, Nicoract shoots first. KDA charge pops up. And he chases down one of the Reapers. Gets one. And this is just a very rough start for FoxeR. Losing a Reaper, getting scouted, cancelling the factory, having to rebuild. There's no CC, and Nicoract, he's got his own on the high ground. Nicoract ahead in almost every. Oh no! Oh, the Reaper, he gets caught out. Oh god. Reaper does barely get away. Oh, nice trap. They do trade. They trade out 2 for 2. Nicoract gets to get the hell out of here. Yeah, it does pull away, but there are reinforcements. A bit of miscontrol there by Nicoract, but overall he still does come out on top. Still chasing down FoxeR. And behind this, FoxeR goes for a CC on the high ground, a starport as well, but everything is so heavily delayed. Nicoract, he does overextend. And Nicoract, he should not be here. He gets 1 SCV. Delays the starports, gets a full scout. And things are getting chaotic. Yeah, things are getting very chaotic here. Again, this damage should not be happening, but he does get 3 more SCVs. Okay, FoxeR, he's back in this. 4. Do we get 5? 5 SCV kills. 6? Jesus. 6 SCVs go down. That should not have happened. But again, that was Nicoract overextending. And FoxeR, he's double expanding, going for a 3rd CC in the main base before the natural's even done. I mean, that's how desperate FoxeR is. But okay. Taking a risk, taking a chance. If Nicoract is passive, then FoxeR can get away with this. And this is a way to recover in this game. It's been a rough start for FoxeR, but he has a way back in. Has a way. FoxeR, he's gonna get punished for this. The Reapers, the Hellions will go down. Oof. As Cyclones in the early game, they dominate. Oh, there's a scan. Was being pre-pulled. Oh no, that had missed rally with the Liberator. Liberator goes down. Not like this, FoxeR, not like this. And again, FoxeR is heavily reliant on Nicoract scans. Never mind. I was gonna say he's heavily reliant on Nicoract not pushing, but because of the scan, Nicoract, he sees the third CC, he knows how greedy FoxeR has been, and that is a prompt now for Nicoract to be aggressive, to move out, to be assertive, and to deny the natural, so deny the third base of the Terran of FoxeR. Oh boy. So again, that was a crucial scout. Has here presses Cyclones before pushing. And here he comes. Now what do we have? So Nicoract, he has 3 Ravens. He's going to have 3 Ravens. He will have 3 tanks as well. He rallies across the map. So Nicoract, he's going to have an equivalent attack count. But more importantly, Nicoract has Ravens and FoxeR does not. So Raven's going to play a big part here when it comes to the big engage. Tanks will be disabled. And if Nicoract wants to, he could try to break this position. There's no bunkers. Yeah, 3 well-placed disables, and this position is going to be broken. He's going for it. Yeah, he's just going for it. Gets 1, gets 2. 2 disables go up. Tanks will siege. The boys are being pulled, and FoxeR is going to lose everything. Massive shots, massive connections. The tanks go down. 2 tanks, they do pull back to the mineral line. But that's still 17 SCV kills back. Oh god. 18 SCVs. Tanks are within range of the CC. And there's nothing that FoxeR can do here. Like, he's just stuck here in his main. Nicoract getting his own 3rd CC. That command center is burning, by the way. It's slowly burning down. There go, floats over. There's a repair. And here he comes. FoxeR pulls the boys. It's all or nothing for FoxeR. He runs into 3 tanks. The tanks, they hold the line. 1 tank barely goes down. He gets 1. He's going to get 2. Barely gets 2 tanks, but only 2. 1 tank still survives. GG gets called, and Nicoract will take the series 2-1, knocking FoxeR out of the tournament. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Nicoract. FoxeR did make a series out of it, but here we saw that FoxeR, he was punished one too many times. Here in the ace match, it was a bold move for FoxeR to go 2 racks, with proxying one of them, and then going for a proxy factory as well. That was very, very bold. It was a risky move, and he was punished for it. It did not pay off. You know, risks, that's the reason why they're risky, pappy. You know, there was a chance was made. He gambled a little bit. He was punished for it, and he just fell behind early on. Did have a nice moment where he was able to get Reapers in the mineral line and kill 6 SCVs. True, like that was a nice moment, but it wasn't enough to fully recover. And as we mentioned, his goal there was to be hyper greedy with a 3rd CC, but he didn't get away with it. Didn't get away with it. Got scanned, got scattered. GG. That was the reason why Nicoract pushed, is because he noticed how greedy his opponent was being. And with that, we are now getting into our next series here. So Nicoract will advance on into the next round, and we have another matchup. It's going to be a PvZ between Mute and Mixu in a best of 3.